reality of modern living is that costs are continually on the rise, and this impacts all families, large and small. So to equip Nishita's family with effective budgeting strategies, we're pleased to have financial coach Aron Samuels joining us in studio. Aron, how do we financially budget for a family of soon-to-be 8?
Soon to be 8. I've never been asked that question before, but yeah, it's a massive task. And in today's reality, if you look at circumstances now, cost of living, interest rates, it's not making things easy. Sometimes managing money can be quite simple, but not easy. And there's a key difference there. But yeah, where do you actually start? And I think there's two levers when it comes to managing our money. Basically, we always need to look at those two levers, which are income and our expenses. And we have different levels of control when it comes to them. Our income, usually fairly fixed. We don't have much of a leeway there, but when it comes to our expenses, that's where we can really get to work. And we can draw down, and depending on our situation, that will determine how far we need to draw down into our expenses and actually see where our money is going. And that's usually the starting point when I work with clients. First question is, where is your money currently going? Before we can look at where you want your money to be going in future.
What are some of the financial questions that you've got in terms of your own family?
My kids are not in any mainstream school at the moment.
Yeah.
So that is one of the ways that we're actually saving money on many school essentials that was actually needed, but we're actually now paying per year.
Sure.
So that drastically drops our prices. But one of the things that we needed to work a bit more on is we currently have a savings plan for any medical emergencies. So I'd like to know, in terms of like savings, do you save the current fees that you would every single month, or do you put that into like an investment savings type of account, just in case of that emergency? Are you able to access those fees when needed in an emergency? Or do you just leave the funds lying dormant and not accruing any interest, if it makes sense?
Great question.
Yeah, look, when it comes to saving and investing, I usually look at the vehicles first, and I say that your vehicle that you're using needs to be fit for purpose. So whatever you're doing, you need to look at what the purpose behind it is, what the goal attached to it is. So in this case, it would be for emergencies. So you would need something that would be fit for purpose for emergencies. What's important when it comes to an emergency fund? You need access to it. Something happens in the middle of the night, it's no use, you need to give 32 days notice or something. It's not really going to serve the purpose. So make sure that it's something that you can access. When it comes to interest rates, we want growth, we want interest, but again, it's an emergency fund. Are we really there to grow our money, or are we just there to keep it separate, to keep it safe and to have access? So keeping it separate, having access to it, I would say, is the most important thing. And gauge what the expenses might be, look at what your budget looks like, and allocate to that on a monthly or quarterly basis till you feel that it's at a comfortable level.
If one has credit, is it better to pay off your credit first and fully, or save whilst paying off credit, or save and let your credit lag? What is the best solution?
As a guiding principle, look at your higher interest rate debt. Consumer debt, let's give it a nice name, let's call it consumer debt, the debt that allows us to live slightly above how much we earn. And have a look at that and tackle that first. Obviously the money needs to come from somewhere. So if that money was going to your savings previously, you're going to have to take a bit from the savings and allocate more to debt. But in this high interest rate environment, it is worth looking at getting rid of that first. Store accounts, credit cards, depending again on your situation, looking at putting a bit more into your bond where you can, because just like compounding can work with us when we're saving and investing, does exactly the opposite when it comes to debt, and it starts working against us.
Right. Let's speak about the psychology behind money. You know, so often we grow up in families, and if there was a poor relationship with money, that impacts us later on as adults psychologically. How do we impart good financial hygiene in terms of our children?
it starts with doing the work yourself. And before you can start that journey of guiding and teaching your child, look at your own journey. Look at your childhood. Parents largely inform our beliefs and our biases. And again, understanding your own beliefs and biases is the starting point. So passing that on, what type of environment, what type of money story will you be having in your house? Because that will largely determine how well your children will manage their money in future.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Aron. Nishita?
Yes, so that's definitely something I need to work on. I'm not the budget queen. Yes, it was very informative, especially the part that actually this is the pathway to my children's financial journeys. So that's definitely something I need to consider, making more powerful choices, shall I say, and not just...
Intentional choices.
Yes, being intentional about spending and what I spend on. But that was very, very informative, so I really appreciate that information, especially the part about whether you should be saving or actually paying off your debt, like the compound that can work against you. So that was something that I really learned here today. So thanks for that, Aron.
Thank you very much, Aron, and thank you, Nishita. As Aron says, know your money story. That was absolutely informative. Thank you very much. That advice will certainly prove invaluable in helping families, both large and small, in navigating their own financial journeys.